Call to order the Wednesday, August 19th, 2026 meeting of the Westtown Township Planning Commission. Would you, everyone join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States? Please stand if you're able. And remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As a matter of record, Mr. Emick was unavailable this evening. So as a vice chairman, I'm going to chair this meeting. With me here on the dais tonight are Commissioner Brian Knob, Commissioner Russell Hatton, and Commissioner Tom Sennett. The next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. And we only have two items on the agenda this evening. One new business item, Stokes Estate, Stonecroft Estate, sometimes called Fox Hollow. And then also 1032 and 1036 Wilmington Pike, which is across the way for Di Sabatino swimming pool construction. And I'd like to switch those two and start with Di Sabatino because they were at the last meeting and they're supposed, I don't know if they're going to be here tonight, but I'd like to start with that because it's just natural that we would follow up with it tonight. And then Stonecroft Estates, we would take second. So old business first, new business second. And I ask for a motion, please.
Yes, I would move that we adopt the agenda as with the changes that you have proposed.
Second? Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience in-house? Any discussion from anyone online? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of the August 5th, 2026 meeting. We received the minutes from Mila in an email, I believe. And I personally read through them and I have no edits whatsoever.
That's a surprise.
And so does anyone else have any edits to this? Changes, additions, deletions?
Yeah,
None?
I was not present.
Okay. So I'm asking for a motion to approve the minutes from August 5th, 2026.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of August 5th, 2026 of the Westtown Planning Commission.
In a second, please.
I'll second it.
Very good. Any discussion?
No?
In-house discussion, online discussion, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Moving right along. Next item on our agenda are announcements. Do we have any announcements from any members of the Planning Commission? Any announcements from our township manager, Ms. Mila?
Just one announcement that the Board of Supervisors approved preliminary final land development plan for Westtown School Dining Hall project on Monday. So we will be working on agreements and scheduling a pre-construction meeting and so forth and recording of the plan once all the comments are addressed. They still have a few comments.
Very good. Thank you. What do you anticipate for the next Planning Commission meeting, which I guess would be in September?
So the first meeting in September, you will have Spotless Car Wash because they resubmitted their plans. And then whether Stokes or Di Sabatino continued discussion.
Do you think we would have all three items on the agenda?
It all depends how fast the applicant decides to address the comments and come back.
Do you think we'll have review letters from all the consultants for
No, because we are just 3 weeks out. So if DiSabatino decides to go ahead and address the comments, by the time they would provide the revised plans back, the engineer still needs time to review. I don't think 3 weeks is enough. So probably just a spotless car wash, or ongoing, discussion on Stokes and, ordinance amendments.
Well, on spotless car wash, when did you receive the application?
Revised plans, we just received sometime in July, mid-July, end of July.
All
I
right, so
have to
that-
look back.
Is that enough time for the consultants to do review letters? Did I misunderstand you?
Yes, it's gonna be more than 30 days.
All right, so we,
for them.
for spotless, we likely will have review letters in
Yeah.
advance?
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
very
because
good.
they still have additional 3 weeks. Yeah.
And what you're saying is if DiSabatino or Stokes are on our agenda, we may not have new review letters because may not have new plans
Probably not.
to review to produce the letters. Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Well, I guess it's a wait and see then.
Yep.
But at the very least, it will be spotless and maybe ordinance amendments.
Yes, and we are expecting a land development application for Dunkin' Donuts, but I'm not sure when that's gonna happen. So you would see it in September, October.
Very good, thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment, non-agenda items. Is there any public comment from the assembled audience on non-agenda items? Any public comment from our online guests? I see it's Mark Yoder and Scott Latimer. Hearing none, there is no public comment. So next item on the agenda is our old business, which we flipped old and new. We approve that. Old business is the DiSabatino project, 1032, 1036 Wilmington Pike. I'll just read what's been presented here for us on the agenda. The applicant, DiSabatino Landscaping, proposes the redevelopment of properties located at 1032 Wilmington Pike and 1036 Wilmington Pike, which is basically across the street, and it's what's commonly known as the Abbey Green retail establishment. I think it was a motel at one point at that whole building. They propose to develop it as a landscape design studio with office space and indoor and outdoor display areas. The proposed improvements at 1036 Wilmington Pike include the construction of a nearly 6,000 square foot landscape design office building and outdoor kitchens display area, parking facilities, outdoor display area, and stormwater management facilities, as well as a secondary access connection to Cheney Drive. The proposed office building will be served by public water and public sewer. And the applicant also proposes improvements at 1032 Wilmington Pike right next door, including the construction of a swimming pool, hot tub, pool house, pergolas, and outdoor canopy area. And these amenities would be accessible from the rear of 1036 Wilmington Pike property and are intended to serve as a display and demonstration features associated with the landscape design business. Now, this applicant was before us 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
and we had a bunch of comments that evening. Is anyone here representing DiSabatino?
No,
No one. Were you expecting them tonight?
yes. It might be because the review letter came in later in afternoon. I don't know.
Did they give you the courtesy of a notification that they were not attending?
No.
But did they tell you that they were?
I expected them to. They didn't say that they were not.
Okay. All right, very good. Well, I would like to continue and proceed with evaluating the application even in their absence. And I know Lisa is here from Cedarville. Do you prefer to be called Ms. Urban McGee? Very good. I'd like to be professional, and if you prefer to be called Ms. Urban McGee, I will call you that, but Lisa's just fine too. Well, Lisa, yeah, and I would ask everyone who's coming up to the lectern to please turn on the mic, green light, and talk clearly into the mic so we can pick it up for our minutes. And also the audience inside and outside the building can hear it.
Yep, there you go.
Lisa, we got your review letter late today, and I went through it. I personally went through it pretty quickly. I think a lot of it, and you can describe it yourself, but in my opinion, a lot of it is really housekeeping, if you will, for the plans and just a lot of stuff that was left off the plans that they need to add, and I can't explain why that is, but I don't think it's too uncommon, unfortunately, and they need to supplement it, let's say. So in your own words, though, would you please tell us about your review? And I really don't want to go through the entire review letter, but let's say the most important items that you think that might be challenging for them, or you already know that it's something that they're maybe not going to do. They've said they're not going to do. We'd all like to know that, because, that would factor into maybe a motion to recommend the board's approval.
Sure. So thank you for the intro. So the most significant things based on the data that was presented in the plans is that the stormwater, there was not enough information even to be able to do the evaluation. They were missing inverts, elevations, labeling. They did provide a stormwater calculation report, but because there was no correlating identifiers on the plans, we could not do the analysis. And that's reflected in the comments.
Yeah, on page 3, I noticed that you did say, due to lack of information provided on the drainage area plans to confirm the calculation provided, a detailed review of the stormwater management calculations cannot be completed at this time.
Correct. So basically the next review will be an initial review of the stormwater plans when they're submitted. Some of the other items that are, I guess, concerning are there's grading that is on the plans that shows on the township right-of-way and actually encroaches on the roadway. There's just a lot of cleanup items that I think that need to be addressed. I don't know whether the plans got rushed to get in front of us for review, but there's just a lot of pieces that would either require further easements from the township, potentially some variances. The lighting didn't meet the plan requirements. There's just a lot in there that I was hoping that the applicant would be here tonight so we could kind of address those items. But there's just there's really not a complete package here. There were pieces missing from all of the major elements.
Do you have a dialogue with them? I mean, have you guys spoken? Have you met to go over the plans?
We have not. We got the plans and we did the review. And as we progressed through the review, there was just so much missing. We would be happy to set up a workshop with them to facilitate this, but like I said, I'd like to at least get through an initial review to make sure that, we're not guiding the design. They really need to provide something and we need to comment on it.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I would encourage you to maybe sit down and meet with them, face to face. I think is always better than
Zoom.
remotely Zoom, and go over this. And so they fully understand what it is you're seeking, even though it's in plain English. Sometimes they don't, and you get the plans and then you have to make comments again. And we'd like to avoid that because we'd like to see a shorter letter rather than longer, and I'm sure you would too.
Yes.
I did see on page 7 of your review letter, number 18, you said additionally, dimensions shall be shown on the plans, including adjusted area and bulk regulations. So what is it that you're referring to there? Because
They're not correct. So the zoning table that's presented on a site plan does not actually represent the zoning requirements for the zoning district. It was probably taken out from a copy from another.
it's just
plans.
totally not correct. Huh.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, they are. So yes, there are some cleaning up items. Some items I called out in my completeness review letter that I still needed to be verified and clarified. the same situation, that there's a lot of cleanup that needs to be done and verification on if, on additional variance relief that might be needed, as well. So they would have to go through the revisions and potentially to the zoning hearing board again.
Whose call is that, whether or not they go before the zoning hearing board? Is that the
Zoning officer,
zoning officer, and is that you?
yes.
So you would tell
Unfortunately.
them they need to go to get a variance from something that they're seeking that's different than what the zoning requires.
Yes, and I think considering the amount of variances and some of the relief that was requested is associated with non-conforming uses on the property. So there was a question whether or not the zoning hearing board decision that was issued was a blanket approval for all existing non-conformities. So I was waiting to get all additional review letters to make sure that there are no additional zoning type of relief that might be needed so that we have a complete additional list for the applicant to go through the zoning hearing board.
But the burden is on them to determine what variance
Correct.
they need.
Correct.
And I think
But we need to verify it. We need to make sure that there are no other outstanding variances that might be needed.
well, okay, they have two choices, seek variances or just comply with the zoning.
Correct.
And they may choose to comply with zoning and therefore don't have to go to the zoning hearing board.
Correct.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize, everyone up here in the day, so I have a bunch of questions, but I'll get to everyone else. So just let me get through mine first, if you would indulge me. I did notice on their tabulation, zoning tabulation, they had for the bigger of the two lots, existing area, the area of existing lot and area proposed lot were the same. And they shouldn't be, because there's a small triangular shaped piece of ground that's between the legal and ultimate right of way that they would be dedicating. So the proposed area should be less than the existing area. And I mean, that's something that needs to be communicated to them. And they need to identify legal right of way versus ultimate right of way. And I'm not even sure that legal is the full 60 foot from the center line or it's something else. So it's not clear to me. And again, that's something that along with a whole bunch of other things that just needs to be done, needs to be included. I agree with you on page 1136, item 36, that they need to list the waivers they're actually getting,
Yes,
not the ones that they want, because they may not get them all.
correct.
So I think that's important, and they have some already on there that they may not get. So on page 12, item 41 about the lighting plan table, could you explain what that comment is?
So on the lighting plan table that they provided, they just put paved areas and then they had criteria. Well, the zoning ordinance actually has parking areas, walkways, there's all different categories and there's different criteria for each. So they didn't even have a classification that marries up to the zoning table, and they were missing some of the other elements that are required. So it was just incomplete.
Okay, very good, thank you. And there were some things in the zoning decision that I don't think are that requires them to put stuff on the plans. That's not really engineering per se, like having to do with one lot versus the other lot and what happens if they sell one, not the other, and these cross easements, that sort of thing. And you may have touched on it in yours, Lisa, your review letter, but I know that's something in the zoning decision that needs to be addressed. I don't know who confirms whether or not they've done it. Is that something that you would do, Mila?
Yes, it would be me and the township solicitor just to make sure that they are compliant. I think there was a couple of easements that would be needed for for stormwater facilities and O&M agreement, as well as for all those structures and improvements on a residential, I call it residential lot, even though it's a commercial lot with the residential use. Those two that come
And,
to
and,
mind.
it's interesting that the title sheet basically says that the project is 1032 and 1036 Wilmington Pike.
Mhm.
But on the plans themselves, there's nowhere does it call out 1036 or 1032.
It says lot one, lot two, and there's all kinds of cross
Lot
references.
one is 1032.
Yeah.
Lot two is 1036. And I prefer to see that lot one, lot two. So again, that's something that if you have a sit down with them, you can communicate that so that there's no confusion and it's just a better plan. And lastly, from the zoning decision, did they provide the privacy fence that was called for in the zoning decision? Applicant shall install and or construct a privacy fence as well as landscaping trees and such other landscape buffering as finally determined necessary by the township during the land development process. I guess it was maybe along the back. The
I know that they
the
were,
residents behind.
they were actually asking if they can install the fence before the land development plan is approved. They wanted to install the fence and some landscaping.
They could do whatever they want as long as they get a permit, right?
Yeah, but the landscaping plan, again, just kind of similar to the lighting plan. They have references in there to heights and dimensions and things that are not consistent with the requirements.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, like I said, it was very basic, so.
Uh, The notes I made, and it was not called for, and it's not, I don't think it's in the ordinance, but I think my fellow commissioners will agree that it's great that they have an area for the dumpster, but I think they're just showing a little wooden fence. And I'd really like to see a masonry fence. I'd like to see.
Well, no, it's required. Under zoning, you're required to have masonry walls for the
Really?
trash.
That's in
Correct.
zoning,
It's under storage requirements.
because I don't think the plans reflect
Nope,
masonry. Okay.
no, so they would have to change that as well.
All right, and we're not gonna go back. We talked, when Carol was here last week, or 2 weeks ago, we did talk about SOAR, but they're not here tonight. Although Mark is on.
Yeah, I'm here. Do you have any?
Yeah. Did you, hey, Mark, thanks a lot for joining us.
Sure.
Did you want to make any more comment about?
The only thing it occurred to me after our meeting last 2 weeks ago, when they're talking about pivoting back to a pressure sewer, that will have additional permitting requirements. A pressure sewer requires a DEP sewer extension, which is not required for a gravity system. And then there's the DEP sewer extension will require planning in any case for the planning approvals are required for the sewer extension permit. With a gravity sewer, you don't need the sewer extension permit. And the planning, I don't know yet because I still need their flow projections to determine if any planning is required for a gravity extension. It depends on how many EDUs they need. So
the sewer connection is something you're discussing with them to enlighten them
correct,
to what
which way they want to go
what
with
is
it.
agreeable. Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. And realistically, like I mentioned last time, gravity is nice because it gives us more flexibility, but a pressure sewer can work just as well. And we can extend that if needed as well. So.
Yeah, the development up the street north on Wilmington Pike, I forget the name of it, it's residential. All the houses on the west side,
Mhm.
that's a low pressure sewer system in there and they came across 202,
Yep.
if you remember. I mean, it's a
Correct.
lot more sewage and maybe it's a bigger line, but I mean, you can do that for just that, you can do pressure sewer for that one little building that they're
Absolutely.
proposing?
Yeah. Yep. They just run, we'd probably have them run a 2-inch just in case we want to extend, connect anyone up the road from them there. But for just the two of them, they could easily do that as well. Just a little 2-inch line going across.
Has Mark Gross, Director of Public Works, reviewed the application at all? If he hasn't,
He was
should.
CC'd on all the communications, so you usually send it out to our emergency management coordinators and public works for review as well, but he has not provided any comments.
I really think you should sit him down with the plans because he's a really smart guy and he has to operate the system eventually, assuming it gets approved and gets built. And he may have preferences that we're not aware of. And I think we owe it to him
Sure.
as a courtesy, if nothing else, to hear from him. So if you.
Yeah, I can
please-
follow up.
Yeah, very good. Thank you. And let's see what else I have. A lot of stuff that was in Mila's letter from July 17th, I think, Lisa, you included in your letter about, deficiencies with the plan. So,
Mhm.
and the applicant has all these, so
Yeah.
they see it, they read it, if they know what's best, they would just comply to the extent they can comply. And this is not rocket science stuff. It's all basic stuff that's typical for any applicant. All right, so that's all the questions I have for Lisa, and I'm going to shut up and let the rest of the commission fire away.
I'll go first. Lisa, this extensive list that you provided, which I also did not read in great detail because it was long.
Mhm.
What is a reasonable timeframe? This looks to me like they need to really sort of completely redo their plans. Not completely redo them, but there's
It's
a
a
lot of work
significant-
that's going to have to be done by them.
It's a significant revision.
Yes. So what is a realistic, and nobody's going to hold you to anything here, okay? What is a realistic time frame for them to get the plans fixed in accordance with what you've done here? I mean, they're engineer, they need engineering work. You're an engineer. Is this a couple weeks? I'm thinking about we're supposed, as Mila said, we would be coming back September, was it
Mhm.
the 9th?
9th, yep.
Yeah. I don't see them, I would think it would be a couple weeks before even if they put the pedal to the metal, it'd be a couple weeks before they could get you revised plans.
I would think so, and especially because it'll be their second submission, I would hope that it would go through a more rigorous QA, QC process to make sure it's tight, because we don't like writing multiple review letters. You don't like reading them and, they want to get started, so.
Yeah. So what I'm suggesting is what would be a reasonable time frame for us to expect them to have revised the plans, get them to you, you have a chance to, talk to them, interact with them, see what else needs to be fixed so that they can get us some plans that you can actually review and provide us with a sound review letter.
I mean, Al's here, so I don't want to speak with them, but I would say you're probably 30 days. I mean, we can offer to meet with them and go over some of these to make sure that, our comments are transmitted properly, but it really is depending on their workload and vacations and things like that. Unless
Yeah.
you guys want to comment on that, but.
He never takes vacation, so it doesn't matter. And Mila, what's our obligation in terms of how quickly we need to give a recommendation on this thing?
So the clock expires, if you just give me a second, I can look up when our clock expires on the application. I keep a clock. So I think, yeah, so the MPC clock would expire on November 14.
I'm sorry, what?
November 14, so the Board of Supervisors have to make a decision by November 14 on the application unless the applicant will provide us with the extension.
Okay.
So Tom, if 30 days is past the 9th of September, so to me, the soonest that reasonable that
Probably.
it would be on our agenda would be the 23rd
Or maybe first meeting in October.
or the first meeting in October.
Okay. That's what I figured. And
Mhm.
does that make sense to you?
Yes,
Okay.
yep.
Because I don't want to do this again. I don't want to have her do it again, and I don't want to do it again. So,
It'll be done.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So,
Yeah, you want a cleaner review letter and a clean revised plans that address at least the basics or provide more detailed information.
yeah. And the reason I bring this up is that I would hope that in your communicating to them, you let them know that we don't want to do this again.
Mhm.
and that we want to get it right. And so our expectation is when we come here, maybe for the first meeting in October, all of this stuff is going to be
It's
handled.
ready to go. Mhm. Okay, sounds good to me.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Comments?
Appreciate you coming.
Anybody from the assembled audience? Anybody online? Well, thank you, Lisa, for being here. And you're going to stick around for Stokes.
I am.
And so we agree, we're not going to make a recommendation tonight.
Right.
It's continued to some future meeting, likely past September 9th, based on,
Guaranteed to be past September
Yeah.
9th.
Mhm.
We don't want to see this on the agenda on September 9th.
I got it.
very good. And Mark, you're still there. Did you say Mark Yoder, did you have a sit down with them about this, or have you talked to them on the
No,
phone?
I have not. I was waiting for them to, they were going to look into the sewer option when we spoke at the meeting, and they were going, I was kind of waiting for them to tell me which way they wanted to go, so,
You're waiting to hear back.
correct.
All right, very good. Well, then that'll conclude our discussion about the Sabatino. And we will move on to the next item. This is Stokes Estate. And
Stonecroft.
Stonecroft, Vauxhall, which is
The reason why I keep Stokes' name, it's just to make sure that residents are aware that there was a name change. And then you let me know which files you want me to open.
Okay.
Um, Is it this is the drive, is that correct?
No. Four up on the bottom, see it?
RPC meeting?
Yep.
Okay. And hold on, I'm just gonna do a share so people online can see. There you go. I can zoom in a little.
If we could go up to the, yeah, the first sheet.
The first one? Yeah, it's the first one.
Yep.
Microphone? I'm sorry. I have to do it.
You do, and you should. Next item on the agenda is Stonecroft Estates. And I would like Mila to explain to us the journey that this application has taken
Jeez.
from when it got preliminary approval by the Board of Supervisors last year.
Okay.
And where are we now and why?
Okay, so the application, I believe, was first submitted for subdivision and land development in 2019. And since that time, there was a lot of back and forth on that specific, it has changed. I believe the original application only involved 2 properties as opposed to 4 properties from what I remember. But this specific, they were at some point in time, there were 2 applications concurrently at the same time. One application has been withdrawn by the applicant after the first application was not approved. There was a settlement agreement. So the land development application that you see now, applicant applied for a waiver to join preliminary and final land development plan review after the conditional use settlement agreement was signed. Would you like me to talk about conditional use as well?
No. I
Okay,
just really want to know.
Kind
so
of
they got-
where
they
we
got
are.
As I understand it, the Board of Supervisors denied their request for a waiver to get preliminary and final. and they just gave them preliminary approval.
Correct, yeah, so the Board of Supervisors approved preliminary plan with a list of conditions, and the applicant revised the plan. I believe the applicant was working on a sewage planning module and other items from the time that the preliminary plan got approved, and just resubmitted revised plan and materials for a final land development plan approval. So the review letters that you see today from the township consultants, that's for the submission that was done July 17th, I believe. Yeah, July, so we received revised plans on July 17. And then we received additional items July 20th. The Board of Supervisors granted a request for time extension to submit a final plan. And some additional items related to traffic were submitted on July 23rd, I believe.
So I thought though that their application or their approval expired.
It did, however, it's not,
I can take that.
sure.
All right, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, it's Mickey Thompson. I'm Vice President of Land and Counsel for Keystone Custom Homes, representing the Stonecroft ridings.
Did you say Mickey Thompson?
Correct. Yeah, so part of the conditions that were put upon the project upon preliminary plan approval, there was, we had to have a final plan submitted within 60 days from the date. When we brought that up to the board to ask for an extension, it was stated, and Mila, please correct me if I'm wrong, that your solicitor said that that was not an enforceable condition because we did not waive our rights under the MPC in terms of the plans and the timing of those plans under the MPC. So because it was unenforceable, the recommendation was made to the chair and that they approved our request for an extension. And I believe that goes until February 2027, which we absolutely don't think we're going to need here. But we did come back and just to make sure that we had a clean record, request that extension, even though I don't think it's debatable that that was a condition that was not enforceable.
All right, so because it was not enforceable, basically it was null and void, and therefore you can come back at any time within 5 years, I think it is, to submit
Correct.
final plans.
Well, we have 180 days, I think, for the determination from the final hearing. I mean, there's a whole list of rules that we all comply with, and we can ask for an extension from that and, you know, whatever. We're not doing that now, but we just decided to keep a clean record and request an extension, knowing that we're really on the 1 yard line here for this plan.
All right, so suffice it to say, you've now submitted a final application
Correct.
and
From July
There's a new
17th.
clock.
So, yeah, so the MPC clock starts at July 17th. That's what we use.
and it expires when? To February, did you say?
Well, I believe under the NPC, it's 180 days.
Yep.
Under the conditional approval that we received this year or last year, it was in February of 2026.
6, yeah.
And then we requested an extension through February 2027, just to protect the record.
Okay, very good. So what's before us is just a final plan.
Correct. Final plan for review and approval.
Correct.
Do the plans, I don't have them with me and I know I have them on my iPad, which I haven't opened up. Do they say preliminary final?
I believe they do. So,
Or shouldn't they just say final?
yes,
Okay,
I
so
think it says preliminary.
going
final
forward, if you just do that, so then it'll eliminate any confusion.
That perfectly fine.
Very good.
And for the record, the document I handed to everyone, and I did hand one to Mila and the township engineer. We saw it was a 31-page comment letter, and when I was looking through it, I saw a lot of these things were agreed upon or settled upon. So we went and redrafted the letter for open items. 31 pages was quite dense. When I looked at it, I yelled at Jeremy right away, like, what's going on? And we had a conversation, and some of the items were agreed upon or corrected or for further time or whatever. So not to be pedantic, I just wanted to make sure that we're focusing on the open items, and Jeremy's here to address them as we go through those open items. And obviously, if I misstated anything, township engineer's here to correct me.
So this, what you just handed us, well, Cedarville's review letter was issued yesterday,
Correct.
and you've now, between yesterday and now, you've produced this in response to all of the items or some of the items?
The open items,
The
I
open-
left as the comments were stated here. The ones that were, I would say, closed items, I just exculpated them from the document so we wouldn't have to go through like unnecessary.
30
stuff.
pages.
Pardon?
You just try to condense 30 pages into.
31 pages into 4.
No, I
that's
understand.
better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is great, but it's up to our engineer for her to say whether she agrees or disagrees.
You understand?
Yeah, I know that. And obviously it's not gonna be tonight, so, but I appreciate you providing this, having a quick turnaround, and it's on the record. But
Can I get a
no.
clarification here?
Sure.
So this list that you provided, this is the open items. So,
Correct.
so I would assume that means, and I understand you got the the review letter and you did a quick turnaround.
Mhm.
Okay. These are the things that you haven't had a chance to talk to the engineer, to Cedarville about.
No,
Or-
we have not talked to Cedarville since we received the comment letter yesterday.
Okay.
Knowing that we really found out we were coming here this evening for this comment tonight, or to be here for the preliminary, or the planning commission for the plan. So, obviously this is an important project for us. We've been trying to push
Sure.
this moving forward. So
So what I'm wondering is, doesn't it make more sense? You've narrowed this down, okay? And now you have a chance to focus on these open items, and doesn't it make more sense to afford you and Cedarville an opportunity to do that, and hopefully turn around, and the next time you come in with a condensed list, it'll be even shorter. It'll be
Well-
non-existent.
Well, part and parcel, one reason why we're here is we think we have addressed some of these issues and we want some
Okay.
clarity on that. So we're not trying to beat anybody over the head with this list here. There's some things that we do need to discuss tonight, and there's some things that administratively that we think we need to address with the township, including the sewer planning module that's been outstanding for some time. And, we've been, awaiting that, but I mean, we have been going forward. We received the NPDS permit for the project. Like I said, I think we're on the 1 yard line here, and I think Jeremy can address a lot of these issues to the planning commission satisfaction. And
Hey, good.
there might be some things left over that we still have to address, but I think we narrowed this list down a little bit. We can look forward to the next meeting and hopefully have some approvals on that.
So now we want to hear from Jared, just find out
The smart guy, let's talk.
find out what he thinks about the open items.
Yeah, I gave it one. Yeah.
Good evening, Jeremy Maderis with Howell Engineering.
Can
It's
you
just
spell
the
your last
top.
name?
It's the top.
Can you spell your last name, please?
MADARAS.
Very good. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so what I wanted to do is just go through our condensed comments, the outstanding issues.
Well, hold on a second. You're saying you want to go through this?
Just quickly, there's just some things I wanted to get some clarification from the commission on, if that's all right.
Okay. Well, if we can, if not, it might be up to the engineer, which I'm not sure she's in a position tonight to
I understand. I
comment.
just would,
Well, I'll indulge you. Go right ahead.
thank you. The first item I wanted to touch on was item number 15. The overall letter, it's on page 7. So the graphic that's up on the screen now, Mila, if you could zoom in on lot 16. And this isn't a huge deal. Just wanted some input. It's-
Lot 16?
Yeah, it's the one right next to the pump station.
So we're on the first page of your document.
Yes,
And-
under item 15.
And item 15 is Cedarville's item 15, just for
Yes.
clarification.
Yes,
Right,
So-
pump station?
yes. So yeah, lot number 16 right there. So, and again, this isn't a huge deal. We can,
Right, yeah.
we can eliminate. The comment is that we have an inlet in the backyard of lot 16. And because of the configuration of that inlet being just upstream of our stormwater system, we get backwater from that stormwater system up into the pipe. So we have this yard inlet that's basically just capturing water from the back of that house. And I just wanted to capture it before it got to the retaining wall. Problem is, because of that backwater effect, that slows the water down below the mandated 3 feet per second. We're at like a 0.25 feet per second. I'd like to keep the inlet, but it does not comply with the code. As a matter of fact, it doesn't comply with the zoning ordinance. Like I said, we can either eliminate the inlet, but we don't want to have to go through a variance process for a yard inlet. Just wanted to see what your feedback on that would be.
What zoning ordinance would that not comply with?
And this might be an error, it might be a waiver, but it's section 144-310.
44 would be a waiver.
Well,
Okay, waiver. All right,
that's something the board can waive. So I would suggest you ask for a waiver,
okay.
and then we'll hear from our township engineers to whether or not they recommend a waiver or not.
Like I said, it's a very de minimis issue. Just wanted to, I like the inlet. I like the fact that it captures the water before it goes behind the retaining wall. But if it's an issue getting the relief, then we can eliminate it and just regrade the lot. But
No, I understand. You're kind of jammed up because of what it drains into.
correct.
And there's a backwater condition and maybe I guess it's a question of how severe of an issue it is.
Right. And also take into consideration, again, the size of the lot. It's not going to be a disturbed area, so there's not going to be a lot of, it's basically just a yard. It's going to be grassed area. So there's not a large opportunity for sediment collection to occur within the pipes, that kind of thing. So again, just wanted to touch on that. Not a big issue.
And just to be clear, that inlet and all the inlets and all the pipes are going to be owned, operated, and maintained by the HOA and not the township.
That is correct.
All right, go ahead, continue.
Okay, skipping down, everything between there and item 40, which is on your page 2 of the condensed version. That just has to do with Aqua PA. And that's just I wanted to mention that we do have an application into Aqua Pennsylvania. They are reviewing our application. We're just waiting for comments. The biggest comment was just making connection between our system and the system on Little Shiloh Road. So,
And let me clarify a little bit so we're not getting confused. So item 22, item 30, item 31, on second page, item 32, 33, 34, and 39, would you consider those administrative issues with legals and they're calling for, putting the approvals on the plan? All those things are administrative, which will be taken care of in the matter, of course, before we request a final plan before the board of supervisors.
that's correct.
Okay.
It's financial security. There's easement legal descriptions, error and closure report of the overall boundary. So administrative stuff that will get cleaned up, coordinate with the township engineer.
Did I hear you say you're attempting to loop the system out to Little Shallow Road?
That's what we don't have a definitive on that, but and it's not necessary for our system, but Aqua always looks at a more global picture than just our individual development. So they feel that they can improve pressure for some of the properties to the north of our property. So they're talking about, and they always want a loop. They don't want a one-way system serving properties. They always want that loop in case they're doing maintenance, and it just improves pressure and flow overall.
So, but that's something that you're still working with them on?
Yes, we're still working with them on that.
Are they requiring that? The looping of the system?
They're strongly recommending it.
We're fighting against it, but
Yeah.
again, it's not
That's kind of where we're
necessarily.
going. Do you agree with them or not?
I don't agree with them that it's necessary for our system, but they're
Yeah, we're-
they're going to do what they want to do.
So I live right up the road from here in Plumley Farms. And we've had a couple of water main breaks and we're not looped. And they got to shut my water off, even though it's way up the street. But they got to shut down the whole system because it's not looped. So I think it's smart to loop it.
Yeah.
And that's
from
from
a
the township's
global
perspective,
picture.
for our community, our residents, we prefer that it would be looped.
Yeah, we have to contract with them, so obviously we hold little cards, they hold bigger cards, so, it's a matter of course, and we're just waiting for that design to come out. But that will, we're not gonna take it to court over, we're gonna do what we need to do.
Why would you not want to loop it? It's a costly thing because you have to,
It
so many additional feet.
It accelerates our site plan construction schedule, because we have to come in from two angles and two sides and try to meet them in the middle, where typically we would have a run, stub it, have another run, stub it. Now we have to come in and spend a lot of more upfront dollars on this as opposed to parsing it out as we go through it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So that was item 140.
Yes, item 40.
So 43.
Yeah, so next item is the tot lot and gazebo. That's item 43. Mila, if you could go to page 3.
Three, okay,
Yes. Okay, so,
yeah.
so we've been requested to provide additional information on our tot lot, which is in like the upper northeast quadrant of our development. So what I've submitted is just a general layout, for the playground equipment, that kind of thing. So we do provide some detail on the next couple sheets. And basically what we're looking to do is provide, facilities for the age range from 2 up to 12 years old. So we have a little fire truck, and then we have one of these platforms with slides and such. And from a capacity standpoint, I think the platform and slides can handle up to, like, according to the manufacturer, like up to 40 kids. The little fire truck up to 16 kids. So with 78 units, we're providing enough recreational facilities to keep the families happy, keep the kids happy. So just wanted to touch on that.
So is that something that there's a dispute on?
No,
Or
it's
is
just
just
additional
information?
information. Yeah,
Okay.
just wanted to touch on it real quick and just.
So I want to ask you about the naturalized trail, and I saw that in some document. I think
Yes.
it's a document that Mila produced. So what are you proposing for the trail?
So we're proposing the trail to be, as it states, the naturalized, basically, have it graded out, have it delineated, but we're not proposing to pave it. In terms of what the exact composition of the trail surface is, we haven't determined yet.
I
But
mean, a naturalized trail, we're not looking to put any type of surface on there that would impact impervious cover. We're not looking to put any mulch or anything because mulch goes away. We have several projects in Chester County even that have naturalized trails where we mow. Part of the HOA's requirement is to mow the trails in for recreation, monumentize it so people don't get lost on the trail. And obviously this trail connects to other trails within the network here. It's one of the first things that we're going to be putting in for this project is the trail because of the amenity feature, for our residents that, people like to have trails to go walking and hiking on and whatnot. So that's part of our plan.
And we do have connections to the trails outside our property, based on the comprehensive plan.
Or I wasn't aware that there were other trails outside the.
They're not necessarily constructed, but they're on the comprehensive
Oh,
plan. So
okay.
you may-
Within the pleasant, within the open space, Plumley open space. They are in a comprehensive plan. It's future trails. That's right.
Actually, if you pull up sheet number 23 in the PDF, it's the overall landscape plan.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
Where's the tot lot again on
It's
that?
right here.
Oh, but, okay, all right.
Yeah, so those are the trails, and then the tot lot is in the upper north portion,
It's
yeah,
right
right
here.
down there. So that's a tot lot. Has a dedicated parking area, ADA accessible from the parking area. The parking area and the access to the trail will be paved, or from the parking area to the tot lot will be paved, and then that will also be a connection to the trail. So if you just wanted to walk on the trail, there'd be a parking area that you'd be able to park in and then use the trail loop.
And are those amenities, the parking area, the tot lot and the trail, are they for the exclusive use of the people that live there, or can the general public use them?
Okay, so they're to be maintained by the HOA. We're not gonna have patrols walk that to exclude people from connecting or walking onto the park. I'm assuming part of our legal documents, legal agreements that we will have with the township would be some sort of indemnification related to people who are basically invitees onto the property for those recreational purposes.
So are you saying that the township would indemnify the HOA against any injuries that would occur?
It very well should and could do that because, you know, the trail systems connecting to trails that are outside our control, you know, they're being invited to come on to our land to do that as part of a global system here. But I mean, we'll work that out with the solicitor and such, but I mean, you know, we're not asking for people to come out here and do that, but they're going to no matter what we do.
I'm kind of the newest member of the planning commission, but I know most of you were on the planning commission when this was first reviewed. And Mila, obviously you were involved too. Was there discussion about the trail and the public use of it?
Yeah, I thought that the trails were offered for public use, but I don't think we went as far as the use of the tot lot because there was really no
Yeah.
facilities specified for that specific area.
It will be fenced, it will be, you know, owned by the HOA, all that stuff on there to notify people, but you know, again, with the trails, you know, it's a tough ask to ask a private property owner to allow people to come on their property indiscriminately and suffer all the ills that people do when they walk and such. So typically there's some type of indemnification agreement that we would be reaching with the township for that.
I don't know that there's a guarantee that you would get that indemnification by,
There's not.
so if they did not agree to that, if the board did not agree to that, you then would restrict it to just the people that live there?
We would probably have to
Yeah,
in that case.
okay. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's not a big deal.
Pardon me?
At Ruston, they have an easement to the trail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that, I think that's part of the language that we have in here is that there's a whole host of easements that we need to work out with the township, not only in terms of this, but also stormwater and all those things, those additional comments, and we'll work that out with Mr. McKenna. But we wouldn't have them ready for today, you know, it would be part of, once we have the final plan approved by the township, then we would then be negotiating all of those legal documents that'll be going through the township staff at that point.
Understood. I want to go back to something you said early on in the discussion, and that is that you had 180 days from July 17th, which brings you to mid-February, and you felt like you were on the 1 yard line. And you may be in some respects, but you know, when we're talking about these easements and indemnification and all these other permits, you may not be on the 1 yard line. Because I mean, 180 days can go like that. I mean, we're already in August.
I understand that. Just for, you know, and this is a unique situation for me. We have the NPDS permit. We've taken this plan and it's going through the County Conservation District and DEP. And if they can review this in a time where we have received it, and by law, we can go onto the property, we're not doing it, but you know, we're allowed to, under the state, to start clearing, grubbing and doing land activities. Again, we're not doing that. I really think we're right there. Usually it's the NPDS permit that's holding the whole show up, or it's HOP that's holding the whole show up. We're not there. We just have to get through this. And again, I think when we're really talking about this list here, most of these are administrative. There's a couple items that we want to talk about. I think we're on the 1 yard line. I really do. Now, yes, all those legal documents and all that stuff that happens, but it happens outside this chamber. It happens outside the Board of Supervisors chamber. It's more attorney to attorney. And we've had a very good working relationship with the solicitor here, with our counsel. And I think those things will be done rather swiftly.
Okay, I hope for your sake that you
Oh,
can
I
get
do
it done by then. I don't know, it just popped in my head and I'm sure other people have the same question, but there's been a sign up there. I drive by it all the time because again, I live off of Shiloh Road. The sign up there, like for sale sign. Have you had deposits already for some of the houses in there?
We have had interest and people sign up for lists for that. Yeah. We don't have legalized lots to actually go under contract with and start the processes with them. And again, for the rest of the board, we build semi-custom homes. So once we have a contract in place, we then work with the home buyer and help them design their home. And it takes us anywhere from 3 to 4 months to actually build these houses. We don't build spec houses. So it takes us a little bit longer. But I think in this process, it'll allow us to start jumping ahead of these things like the aqua, the looping the system, the amenities, the tot lots, and all those things at the same time.
All right, and so would you say you've had a lot of interest?
Yeah, this is going to go, in terms of the amount of interest, it'll probably be one of our best selling communities that we have. And we're in 5 different states right now.
Okay, very good. Jeremy, I'm sorry for
No,
sort of keep-wording, but why don't you continue with going down this list?
okay. Items 44, 45, permits for steep slopes and wetlands will comply. Steep slope conservation district submission will comply. Item number 50 just ties back into the tot lot, which we talked about before. Item 51, retaining wall structural design. As part of the preliminary plan submission, we've done structural calculations and design for the retaining walls. We have some additional information to provide with respect to those retaining walls, but we've shown that everything is feasible and practical. We just need to provide some additional information for the retaining wall adjacent to the pump station and another along the southerly common driveway. But that is a will comply. Items 55 and 56, homeowner association documentation, we talked a little bit about that, will comply. House design, just providing architecturals for review. That should be coming relatively soon.
Yep.
Item number 63 and 65 are with respect to outdoor lighting. And with respect to outdoor lighting, what we're looking to do is basically just light the main intersections within the development, try to adhere to the Dark Skies Initiative. We just need, I guess, some input from the Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors, just with a buy-in to that design technique in terms of complying with the Dark Skies Initiative.
Well, do you want us to weigh in on that now, or is that what you're asking?
If
Before
we
you move
could
on?
get some input from the commission on just lighting the intersections, not having, all the streets, lit.
I think in general, there's very few lights in the entire township, streetlights.
That's correct.
And I think maybe that's by preference, going way back many decades, probably longer than I've been here.
Yeah, is there something in your suggested design that is not in conformance with ordinances or anything?
No, it's just the request. The comment is request a review of the site lighting by the Planning Commission and Board of Supervisors. So the comment's outstanding, just wanted to make the commission aware of it and just not mandating that you provide any input, but just throwing it out there, see if there's any comments, concerns about that general layout.
It would be my impression that what you're talking about would be consistent with what's most of the rest of the township.
How soon would development shall be lit. So yes, in terms of compliance, there are technical requirements under zoning that they would be compliant with. I think they ask you to do things additional in terms of the design that is needed. And I believe out there, in some of his comments, he was talking about specific area that is to be lit because of the curve of the roadway.
Right, there's that eyebrow section down, a little farther down that was gonna be lit. Does each lot have a pole light? Okay,
Because, I mean, Sawmill Court is very bright, but it's, I think all the houses, their lights are on like.
well,
at
that's what I
night
mean,
time,
they have
right?
house
So
lights
that's, right. So
or
we're,
pole lights at each.
Right.
I don't think we have planned pole lights because of the same issue. If pole lights is basically a little bit dimmer street light. I mean, the houses will have front door lights and that stuff, and I'm sure people will have request the HOA for, you know, maybe some decorative lighting and whatnot, but we weren't planning on putting street lights.
Yeah, if you're using
But-
like LEDs or something at the house.
Yeah.
But-
And these houses are pretty close to the street anyway.
We know,
They're not sitting back.
we know.
So I don't think that lighting, visual issues will be a problem here.
will the lighting on the houses be their choice? It won't be like, I think if I'm, remember correctly, Sawmill is like their lights are on no matter what off the houses, correct? Because whenever I drive by there at night, like every single house is lit up. And it almost seems like there's like, almost like it's a mandatory, every single house has the lights on. And so I was,
That would not be our.
They may be on a photo
Yeah.
cell.
yeah, I just wasn't sure if it was something that the neighborhood put together and did, or if it's something like you're thinking street lights at those key areas, but if people turn on their lights, great. If not, they have them
Yeah,
dark,
I
right?
don't want to mandate.
Okay,
people
yeah,
keeping lights
and that's
on.
fine.
I mean, again, obviously intersections are a must, and we're not arguing that, but just to have, we have another project that's in Chester County where, you know, there was just lights at it. I mean, when it's gonna be lit, it's gonna look like an airport, and, you know, it's not our desire, but that was what we were told we had to do.
So it sounds like you need to make a specific proposal, what you want to do in terms of lighting. And we'll have Lisa look at it, and
Yeah. So we.
Lisa and Al and Mila. Yeah.
Well,
I don't think the tot lot should necessarily, yeah.
Yeah,
But we don't have a specific plan or proposal to evaluate at this point. Is that right?
Well,
Well, I mean, with specifics.
we have this.
no, they think they show it on the plans.
I think it's just the overall concept. Instead of having, say, streetlights every 50 feet up and down each road, we're just looking for your buy-in on the general concept. Lighting the cul-de-sacs, lighting the main intersections. Al apparently has some comments with respect to some of the curves, the eyebrow, that kind of thing.
What-
I don't think we need to like the cul-de-sac.
Lighting specifics,
Well,
like,
yeah, well, my personal opinion, I think that's fine. I think Russ next to me here disagrees. I've seen it before where they just light the intersections and the cul-de-sacs to have a light there, a single light, or no lights, like pretty much every other development in West Town.
If the preference is no lights, I'm not gonna argue with you. If the preference is that you want lights in a particular way, we're willing to accommodate the planning commission as we can.
right, I know, well, too, with like West Town School, when they were putting the soccer field, turf fields, right? The requirement was having low, like the lights shining straight down.
Yeah.
Is that, like, cause I know some
Yeah.
have like the big nice bulb, like old looking ones that shine out, but would it be like,
It would be directed down.
Directed down, right, okay.
Without a lot of spillover.
right?
With the minimum amount of spillover.
And we do not want to light the tot lot because it would be an attractive nuisance for kids that probably are too big to play on print. Like,
Shouldn't be there after you.
yeah, exactly. And we'll have the HOA enforce that vigorously.
You had mentioned a dark skies initiative. Do we have an ordinance that it's relative to dark skies? I didn't think that we did. Because I know that's
But it is.
a
It's
general,
just my general term to describe,
Yeah.
to differentiate lights every 50 feet from what we're trying to do. Just,
I understood. Yeah, I just know some some municipalities have something specific to dark skies, so,
right.
but we don't. But I respect that, and I think it's certainly something to consider. So I think what you're hearing from us is there's no strong opinion either way.
Perfect.
So we'll comply with the engineer and Al Frederico with respect to, where exactly we need lights.
Is there access to the tot lot parking area? And out 24 hours a day? Or is it?
Yeah, we don't have any,
Yeah, there's no gate or
Right.
anything that's there in front of that parking lot.
I'll let the HOA deal with it then.
It's kind of out of the way too. It's like you have to know it's there.
It's a
Yeah.
great team
know?
parking spot.
Yeah, I would say, I think the neighbors that are adjacent to this area will be also helping us patrol that area
Yeah.
to make sure
Yeah.
there's no hijinks and tomfoolery.
shenanigans.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, item number 71, that's going to be sheet number 1, Mila, on the PDF. Yeah. Actually, it's going to be sheet number 2 on the PDF, sorry. And this is probably the most technical of the comments that I wanted to discuss with you. So basically what I did is I did a little graphic here showing a house on Road D. Now, the road slopes, that was a discussion during the early planning for the development and part of the settlement agreement. Road D and Road C, I believe, have a slope of 8.7%. The challenge there is we have a level garage and then we have a road that goes down at 8.7%. So the township code says that you can't have, that you need a minimum slope of 1% for drainage and then a maximum slope of 5%. The challenge with the 8.7, and I try to show this in my graphic, is that we can have a center line grade, basically from the center of the garage down to the center of the sidewalk on the driveway. We have that for basically our standard design is that's at 4.5%. That makes the upslope edge of the driveway 2%, but it makes the downslope edge of the driveway slope down at 7.6%. So we're not in compliance with the code, but with an 8.7% road grade, there's really nothing we could do.
So you're kind of splitting hairs, and I get it. But the ordinance, and I'm throwing you a bone here, the ordinance doesn't specify whether it's a left edge, right edge, or center line, does it?
No.
So I would suggest at the very least, you ask for a waiver.
Okay,
And what we would state is that the average slope, which would probably be the middle of the driveway itself, will be compliant with the 5%.
Understood.
So,
So while we're on the topic of the plot plan, and this maybe was brought up before. Pardon me?
There's no place to park.
No. The width of the curb cut. So in a former life, I was a township manager here, and I dealt with people over at Ruston Walk. That was a development that you all designed, Howell Engineering.
Yep.
And you made the curb cuts 12 feet. and the driveways were 24 feet, they were more, and so were the front entrance, two-car garages. So you know where I'm going with this, is that you've got to call out that the curb cuts, because what happened was people wanted to, before the road was paved, wanted to change them to, at their own expense, to wider curb openings. And it was I don't even know what happened, but that was gone, and then somebody else's problem. Still ongoing. So we want to avoid that.
Yes.
Is where I'm going with this is, and therefore to call out specifically that, it's a minimum of 24 feet or whatever it needs to be, especially for wherever there's a two-bay garage. And I guess are they all two-bay?
Yeah.
And they're all front entry,
Yep.
front load.
So we'll just make sure that the detail explicitly says full 18-foot curb cuts, basically then slope up from there to the full height of the.
Because what happened was people would pull in and they pull in and then have to quick turn to the left to then line up on the garage, and they couldn't do it. And then there was the car parked next to them, they couldn't get out because they have to roll over the full 8-inch curb. So if you do that, that's wonderful. Thank you.
And that was one reason why earlier, when I say earlier, like years ago, we had asked for the rolled curb concept. I think we're vertical here now,
Mhm.
but the rolled curb allows us to manufacture that a little bit easier when we have.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of driveways in there, but we understand your point and we can certainly do that.
Well, are these going to be regular
Yes.
curbs? 8-inch curbs?
Yep.
And are they going to be concrete or Belgian block?
They're concrete.
Yeah, yes, concrete, standard PennDOT detail.
You promise you're not going to change when you're right before you're starting the building, say, oh, we changed our mind, now we want to do Belgian block? Because that happens all the time.
That is an
And
amendment.
I'd rather you just say it up front, if that's what you want.
We're not.
No? They hold up better.
Yeah, but if we were doing spec homes and we were just putting these things on little soldiers, it'd be easier. But we're gonna have somebody who wants the driveway on the opposite side. They're going to have a door facing this way. And again, it's a song and dance that we have to play to try to make sure that these curb cuts match the driveway. And the last thing we want to do is put a curb cut in and have the driveway be over here. And now we got to rip up the whole side and lay it. It's a nightmare.
Okay. Thank you. So what else you got?
Item 73, flag lots, privacy fence. So that's a will comply. We just have a mislabel, whether it's going to be 4 feet or 6 feet. Retaining walls, item number 74, that's will comply.
So you thought the sign.
Yeah, signage, item number 75. Item number 78 is aqua. Item number 84 is enterprise products. That's one of the gas lines or petroleum pipelines that go through the development. And sheet number 21 in the PDF is the agreement. Next one.
22.
There it is.
Oh.
Is that it? That's it, right? Yeah, all I did was throw in the first page, but that's basically just shows that we have an agreement between Enterprise and Keystone. So we've got their buy-in. We already have buy-in from Buckeye in terms of, because we are going to be crossing their through their easements. We needed to get their approvals for roadway crossings, grading on top of within their easements and utility crossings. So we've achieved both of those approvals. Last thing was the landscape plan, Mila, on page number 23, or at least it's just the next page down. So one item that came up, not necessarily from the board or the commission, was landscaping up in the north. Perfect. Our original landscape plan did not have the landscaping going the full length of the abutting lots to the west. So we just wanted to show that we do have the landscaping going all the way to our northerly property line. And then similarly on the southerly property line, directly south of the pump station, we had the request of additional landscaping through there. And we had our landscape consultant just put additional buffer in that location also. keep going down. Yeah, right in there. So you can see that we supplemented the plantings along that jog in the property line. So that was it for the engineer's comment letter. The only other question, and hopefully Mark Yoder is still on the line, would be with respect to the planning module and the Part 2 permit. We did get comments from Mark and Keystone Engineers with respect to the pump station. I just wanted to make sure that that those materials had been submitted to DEP, and if anybody knows, because we have not heard anything at how, if we've received any feedback to the township or to you, Mark, with respect to the planning module, the Part 2 permit.
Yeah, all of our comments on the planning module have been addressed. It's, we recommended that it be sent out. It needs to go first to the reviewing agencies for the component 4s. Then it will need to be advertised publicly and adopted by the township before it can be submitted to DEP. As for the water quality management permit for the pump station, a lot of the comments in our letter need to be addressed. We need a force main profile so that we can review the calculations in the package, and then that can be submitted simultaneously with the planning module once it is submitted to DEP, but it won't be approved by DEP until the planning module has been approved. So that's where those stand.
Okay. So the reviewing agencies for the planning module, aside from DEP, and forgive me.
Well, the component 4s go to the county planning commission, the county health department, and the municipal planning commission. There's 4 things of 4A, 4B, and 4C that need to be sent out to them.
Okay.
So when those, Mark, are ready to go, so I just have to sign it, correct?
Yeah, the component, I think, or section, I think it's G or J, I can't remember offhand, but there's
Okay.
a chapter 94 consistency that needs to be signed on the form itself. And then once that's done, a cover letter, and it has to be a cover letter from the township when it goes out to the agencies or DEP. We used to be able to send them out to the agencies, but DEP no longer accepts that.
So do we need an original, or the scanned copy is okay?
You can check with the or I can email the health department. I don't know if the health department and planning commission, if they accept just email submissions or if they need a printed submission. That's a good question.
The scan
I
is,
think they're scanned.
okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if they don't, we can hand deliver. I mean, it's fine.
It used to be that you had to sign it and have original copies for the planning modules. I think they start accepting the scanned copies now.
Yeah, because DEP started accepting scanned copies, so now like some of the counties are.
Okay, that makes it faster.
I would like to conclude at or before 8:45, so then we can just finish up our meeting and be out of here by 9 o'clock. So the commission knows that. Do you have any, I would like to have, not right now, but while Mark's on the line, we can talk about sewer, and we'll go to Lisa, talk about, some of her stuff. But before we do that, is there any questions for either of these two gentlemen based on what they've just presented? All right, so Mark, we have your review letters, and there's 2 of them, and one is just general sewer, and I think one is about the pump station. Is there anything that you want to say about them? Any significant?
No, I think they pretty much speak for
They're
themselves.
lengthy, and I know there's a lot that it's technical, and I really don't want to get into technical stuff that's between you engineers, but anything in particular that's noteworthy?
No, I think everything's like everything. It's just details that need to be worked out. I don't see any there's no major design issues. Like I think at this point, the big piece of information I'm missing is a profile of the force main once it leaves the site. Just because we need that to review calculations. Yeah. I guess looking at this, that sewer line, I guess, is something that I mentioned in our recent review letter. It goes back the flag lot easement there. That needs to be, the way that's shown, there's not enough clearance that if we ever needed to dig that line up in the future, we'd have to get an easement from the neighboring property. So I requested that be shifted over some. There's a few other minor clearance issues like that, but I think it's generally mostly just cleaning up some items. So
Yeah, that's the way it seemed to us too, was clean up. And we do have the profiles of the force main going down Shiloh Road. And we'll
Great.
get those to you ASAP.
perfect.
Has Mark Gross reviewed these plans?
Yes, I did talk to Mark, particularly about the pump station plans with him. Those were the big thing. I wanted to make sure that I had all of his comments and everything he and I discussed is included in our letter. So
And they're proposing open cut or horizontal directional drill for the force main on Shiloh Road.
I don't believe that's been made clear. One comment in my letter is they are proposing HDPE, which could indicate that they're planning to drill it. That's the typical material you would use in that case, but they have it as a 4-inch HDPE, which does not have a 4-inch inside diameter, which is required for the non-clogged pumps they're using. So if they are doing that, they might have to go to a 5-inch HDPE line if they want to drill it.
And we haven't made that, from our perspective, haven't made that determination. I understand that Keystone right now is in talks with different contractors to get pricing. So to a certain extent, and I don't want to speak for Keystone, they would leave it up to the contractor's discretion. But
I think the township could require you to do horizontal directional drilling so as not to tear up Shiloh Road, which was paved not that long ago.
and
Yeah, I mean, it's not an issue. We'll whatever we can do.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Anything else, Mark?
No, that's pretty much it.
I saw somewhere in one of these letters where someone said something about there's going to be a small section of gravity collection line along Shiloh Road and that the properties fronting it could connect to it. Was that-
Potentially. Yeah, so I believe at least, I'm not sure if it was in this plan set or a previous one that they had just a plan view going down Shiloh Road. And once they get to the crest in it, they can transition to gravity. And I think there's like 2 or maybe 3 homes that they're running along. I don't even know that the homes front on Shiloh. They might I think they might front on the one of the side streets. But those homes could potentially tie into a gravity line going down there.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I think that's a policy decision of the supervisors as to whether or not they want to require people to
Correct.
connect. Maybe they don't want to connect and we have an online management system, as you know, that I think we have the best maintained septic systems in the entire county. And I think those people may want to just keep it that way and not connect to the public sewer.
Right.
So
Are some people who would like to connect to public sewer.
then there's some people that really need to connect because they can't upgrade their system. But
Correct.
okay, well, that's something for the board and that's something for this commission, I guess, is part of one of our conditions of approval recommendation to the board. We could weigh in on. All right, so that's it for sewer. Lisa, we have 15 minutes. Do you want to, if you would, please, can you come up to the lectern and just briefly talk about your review letter, which we just got yesterday, and it is what it is.
Yes, so I think Jeremy captured a lot of the comments, a lot of them are ministerial. I do have one question though. Where are you guys with the 105 permit? I know you sent the application in. Have you gotten any feedback? Because that's one of our comments. The 105 is about the wetlands encroachment. And we had some questions on the calculations because the table just talked about the crossing and not the retaining walls. So if that needs to be corrected, I just want to get that fixed.
unfortunately, the person at DEP that was reviewing that is, according to DEP, no longer with them. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but file was sort of lost for a bit. So now it's being reassigned. So, and we were waiting to get their comments back before we did sort of a global revision to, to the plans and to their, to their package. So if they're fine with everything, then we will just, do the revisions, provide you the information we need to. So I know that there was concerns about the hydraulic calculations, which I reviewed, and we can provide you the additional information. But those hydraulic calculations did take into consideration the discharge from the stormwater management basins, offsite runoff, basically the whole entire watershed, post-treatment. So, other than that, in terms of the quantification of the wetland impacts, we'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
So,
And did you say earlier that you do have an MPDS permit?
we do.
You do, okay. Does the township have a copy of that?
We received notification. I do not believe we have a full permit. We just got notification that
Yeah.
it was issued.
I'll make sure that.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Yep.
All right, Lisa, why don't you continue? Was there anything else?
No, I mean, they've said that they will comply, so, and that they'll provide the additional information. And if you guys, do you have any idea what that turnaround time is going to look like?
ASAP.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
On your.
Later today.
Maybe I should have asked this question earlier. So you basically did preliminary final plans, but you only got preliminary approval. And they were very detailed plans. They had, you could almost build it from them. Has anything changed from then till now of significance?
Now,
I mean, the number of lots are the same. You
Layout.
still have the retaining walls. Is it just more detail or is there anything that's changed?
not substantively. There's just, details, some minor traffic stuff from Al's standpoint. Calculations, retaining wall calculations, delineation of easements, some minor modifications to sanitary sewer, stormwater, but nothing earth shattering. It's basically just detail and plan cleanup. There is a lot of detail. There's, a lot of utilities. Just with the change in grade, it gets a little complicated, but 1 yard line.
Yeah, I mean, and again, part of the, I believe the determination not to give us a waiver for preliminary final was there's still a lot of open third-party things, and we've been pushing forward of all the, again, I've never had an NPDES permit come before we have a final plan approved. I mean, it's pretty rare, right? It's like I found a unicorn. So I don't want to, be blasé about that. I mean, again, we're here. I think 90% of the stuff that we have to do, maybe some cleanup on some plans, get the legals done, and then we'll be ready to rock.
Very good, thank you. We have a few minutes, and I know Al is not here, but he did produce a review letter. Jeremy, is there anything in here that's,
I have something.
or Mila,
Sure.
of significance that,
I spoke with Al, and one comment has to do with Westchester Area School District comments that they stated that in the future, they might need a secondary bus stop within the development. He said that was within the Westchester Area School District communication, so.
Yeah, the discussion was what they would envision initially is just the bus stop at Road A, where we have the ancillary
Okay.
parking. They said potentially in the future, they may stop at Road D also. But my understanding in coordinating with a variety of different school districts is that those bus stop locations and schedules are
Move.
based on enrollment, projected enrollment, where the kids are located. So right now, they stated Road A will be their stop. And again, just maybe in the future, they would stop at Road D also.
Okay. And then Al said that he had no objections on the number of overflow parking spaces by the Todd lot. I think you're proposing 7.
Yes.
Um,
And one of those ADA.
Okay, and then he was fine with if the traffic retiming will get done in the next 4+ years, or next 5 years, that the amount that was suggested was sufficient. But if it's gonna be beyond 5 years, who knows what the cost would be for the traffic retiming.
So I think that the schedule is, you'll be done before 5 years.
Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, that's the plan.
Right.
Al did recommend that you provide street names
yes,
at this time.
we do request that.
Pardon me?
You have, I think you got it from County done one.
Yes. I'll have to figure out where exactly it is, but I do remember that we did go through the 911 to get, I think they gave us a list of potential names.
Yeah.
So we just need to select which ones. So we can provide the list and, get input
Okay.
from the commission and the board.
Did you provide the names to the township, to Mila?
No, not yet.
'Cause-
I don't think I've heard the names.
I thought your office did the coordination with the 911 center.
Yeah, we supposed to, but we
They-
haven't had a street
They went ahead and
names,
did it before you?
I guess.
Okay. Are
That
any,
is
are
Fine, I
any,
just need the street names and addresses.
are any of the roads named Stokes Drive?
I remember that was a comment, and I believe that we did submit that to the 911. It's been a while since I looked at that list, but we'll get that
Okay.
over to you.
Because I think as a courtesy to that underlying property, and especially since you chose not to retain either of the two historic houses on it or the barns, it would be desirable to name one of the roads Stokes.
Understood. I don't think that Keystone would have an issue with that at all.
All right, any other questions for Jeremy, the engineer, or Lisa, the engineer? Or council from the commission? I guess similar to the question you asked earlier, as far as when we see them next, it's probably not until the end of the second meeting in September at the earliest, considering all that they have to do.
Yeah, it all depends how fast they will revise the plans and come back, unless you are not planning to revising the plans before the planning commission and just going to the board of supervisors.
Well, we would like to see them again, and we'd like to see a clean letter. Clean letters from all our consultants, that everything's been addressed before we see them again. So then we can make our recommendation to the board with, conditions.
Yeah, we can do that. In terms of the timing, we'll look at the calendar and
Okay.
see what's feasible to be able to get the plans to the consultants in time to do the reviews. And yeah, we'll do whatever coordination offline with Mark, with Cedarville to make sure that everything's addressed.
All right, any other questions? Very good. Well, thank you for attending tonight and for spending the time that you did with us to explain everything. It's really helpful for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now the next item on agenda,
Yep.
next item on our agenda is public comment. Either an agenda item or any item, any public comment from the assembled audience here in Stokes Meeting Hall. Any, yes? Supervisor,
The
welcome.
top,
Thank
the
you.
top, the top part, only the top
Only
part.
the
that-
top part moves?
Yeah.
Oh, you got it. It's good.
Jody Naraki, 1025 Goodwin Lane. I was wondering if we could possibly look at an ordinance for data centers.
We
working on that?
it's something,
Discussed it.
It
we
was
just-
discussed before.
there was some discussion that we had, just general, a couple meetings ago. And we didn't come to any agreement on anything. And, I think it's with respect to data centers, it's you know, we don't want to work on something that the board does not want us to work on, obviously. So if the board wants us to work on a data center ordinance, I guess we can. So that's number one. Number two would be, and this is just my opinion, I don't know that we have any grounds remaining in the township big enough to even put a data center on, except for West Down School.
Well, I think there's an MU.
Well, yeah, so from what you read online and what from you hear, is that the data center developers are open to buy entire neighborhoods and if they get the infrastructure in. So it's not just about the vacant land. It's just when you do not have those provisions in place, as you know, anybody can propose anything at any time. So yeah, we discussed it briefly about what type of vacant land we have, where there would be a potential for somebody to come in and develop. But it's always, there's always a possibility that somebody can come in and have a proposal and buy out properties. I don't know if it's realistic or not, but.
Yeah, that's a good point. And again, I don't know if it's realistic or not. If they were to do that, I mean, I don't know how they would. I know it's been, you had mentioned this, that they did it somewhere.
Before,
'Cause
yeah.
They'd have to,
They do it out in Indiana.
they'd have to get everybody to agree because they're
For the
not,
right price.
you know, the township can't, or the government can't do it. It's not a government, it's a private business. But regardless, it's certainly something that we could work on along with all of our other things,
I know.
pipelines, parking,
After residential parking, conservation design, parking,
conservation
planning
design,
commission
yeah.
functions, pipelines.
How do you, what do you think? I know, you're not here representing the board, you're here as
I'm
uh,
here
Jane
representing,
to, public.
I'm representing myself. But I think that the board might be open to that.
They can always know.
Well, we would love to get some guidance from them.
Yeah.
And if they say to us, commission, we want you to do this, we want you to do it rapidly, I think we can come up, between the staff and us, we can come up with something.
Can I say that?
Okay, yeah, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, we'll make, okay.
Yeah.
What exactly do you need from me and the board?
Well, to communicate,
You can do it at the regular meeting, yeah. So when, you can either communicate to me or at your regular meeting, when the planning commission gives out the report, you can request planning commission to take a look at the ordinance. It doesn't have to be very formal.
Well, no,
The planning commission is just looking for a guidance from the Board of Supervisors of working on a specific ordinance language, yeah.
could it be before the meeting? Because the next time,
Sure,
I mean, it's going to be like a month, over a month
yeah.
until we're before.
Yeah, the board can let me know, and if the board aligns on the subject for the planning commission to take it on, I can communicate that.
You could ask them
Oh,
and then they could all answer you, right?
hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks for
Absolutely.
your comment. You know, we would have let you comment before public comment all items, even if it wasn't on the agenda. I mean, we would have made an exception for you instead of sitting here for 2 hours almost.
No, I,
2 hours, right?
well, I wanted to see what was going on.
Well, of
so-
course, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and I learned from you, so thank you for allowing me to attend and
Yeah,
learn.
well, thank you for coming. Any other public comment? Thanks, Jody. Any comment from anyone online? There's no one online. All right, so. we'll
You
move on-
lost your audience.
So we'll move on to the reports, Board of Supervisors. I attended the meeting this past Monday. As Mila had indicated, the board did approve West Down School Dining Hall. There's some minor plan edits that they have to do, and they agreed to that. They paid AGM Electric for Pleasant Grove Pump Station. They approved that. There was they announced, it was really kind of an announcement, a schedule change for the Westchester Area Council of Governments America 250 Drone Show. That was supposed to occur, I guess, right
August
before the
2nd.
4th. And what was the date?
August 2nd.
August 2nd, and it was raining that night and there was thunderstorms, so I guess they.
So they
canceled it.
canceled the drone show, yeah.
So it's been rescheduled for September 3rd at Exton Park. Is that what I heard?
Correct. You're welcome to attend the drone show.
I would have gone to the other one, but I just couldn't make it that night, but it was canceled.
Mhm.
Besides, it was raining. There's a treasurer's report said we were in good standing. Fire marshal said it was a slow month. I reported on the planning commission. Police, there was nothing remarkable, although we did comment about there was a shooting at one of the developments
Summit.
I guess it's in West Goshen. Or
Summit,
not, no, East
Summit.
Goshen. East Goshen, yeah. And let's see. There was public comment. This is, I guess, more than once has this come up about the Turk's Head Trail, which would be along the railroad right of way to go from Wawa all the way to Westchester. There was a public comment about that. And there was a bunch of announcements. There's still a vacancy on Environmental Advisory Council. And it's pretty much it. So,
Hmm?
Have you heard from Kevin?
No, I've seen him at Giant a couple weeks ago and he said he would be coming back. So, but I haven't heard back from him.
all right, before I adjourn, I just want to indicate that the next planning commission meeting is September 9th, which is 3 weeks from now, because Labor Day is late this year. And we don't meet until the board meets first. So I guess they're going to meet on the 7th,
Mhm.
then we meet on the 9th. And the rep for the September 8th meeting is
Chris Thompson, I think? No?
Russ,
Oh, okay.
and that's a Tuesday.
Yes, because.
So
of
it's
the-
Tuesday, because Labor Day is Monday, the 7th. So the board meeting's on Tuesday, the 8th. It's Russ with Chris as the backup. So if you can't make it, Russ, let Chris know. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
Okay, yes. I move we adjourn tonight's
So
meeting.
move second.
Second.
All those in favor?